Safari suit is one of the classical menswear in our time, and it is very interesting if you know how to achieve this. Hello guys, you are once again welcome to my channel. This is Mr. Mature. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to perfectly draft and cut your safari suit with double vents at the side. If it is something you find interesting, please don't go anywhere. Watch this video to the very end and let's get into it. If you are new to my channel, you are warmly welcome. And if you are an old subscriber, this is my way of telling you thank you for still staying with us to this very moment. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is my horizontal and the vertical line. So the horizontal line is going to be the width of my measurement, and the vertical line is going to be the length of my measurement. So to get my box frame, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 14 inches to my body's measurement. So the value I will have, I will divide it into two, and then I will mark it on my horizontal line, which is going to be the width of my drafting, like this. And then I will come down and mark the same measurement downwards like this. Guys, make sure you use your own preferred measurement. So I will come to the vertical line and I will impute my length. The length I'm using is 30 inches, and I'm going to add 3.5 inches to it. Okay, and then I will extend the same measurements furtherward, and then I will mark my 33.5 and connect my lines to create a box frame. So this box frame is what is going to contain the front, the center, and the back. Okay, so put this thing in mind. So that place I pointed is going to be my center back. So after marking it, I'm going to impute my chest line, waistline, and my hip length, as well as my full length. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to add 2 inches to my half length, which is 17. I will add 2 inches to it, which is going to give me 19. And to get my chest line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide my bicep by 2, and I will add 2 inches to it, and I will mark. Guys, I'm not mentioning measurements so that you can use your own preferred measurements. So I will go furtherward and then mark those marks that I did at the center front. Then I will come to the down line and I will come up by 2 inches and mark and connect my lines like this. So this is our chest line, our half length line, and our full length line. So after that, I will come to the starting point on horizontally, and I will come down from that starting line by 1/2 inch, and then I will connect my line only for the front part, as you can see on your screen. So these are the lines I'm going to follow. Let's start with our back drafting, the back panel. So on my center back, I will come in by 3.75, okay, which is going to be the width of my neck, and the depth of my neck is going to be 1.5. You can see I've already marked 1/2 inch there already. It's for a purpose, so stay with us and I will explain it to you at the end. After that, I'm going to connect a rectangle line for my neck. So from the center back line, I will come in by 0.25 and mark it on my neck depth line. Now I will come to the waistline from the center back and I will come in by 1 inch. Now from the depth of our neck mark line, in between the mark and the chest line, I'm going to divide it by 2, as you can see me marking over there. And then I'm going to connect it with my French curve from that midpoint mark that I just marked, and I'll connect it to my 1 inch from the waistline with a slight curve like this. And that 0.25 that I came in from my neck depth, also I'm going to connect it to the midpoint line that I just marked. So guys, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification for more interesting videos like this. Now from the 1 inch mark, I'm going to connect it straight down to the end of my measurement, as you can see me marking over there. Now I'm going to measure from the 1/4 inch mark that we came in on the neck, and the value I will have there is going to be 3.5. So the 3.5 that I have there, I'm going to add 1.5 inch to it. So it's going to be 5 inches, and I'm going to mark it on that 1/2 inch mark we came down, and I'll go down and then I'll connect the line for the front part. Now to get my shoulder width from that 0.25, I'm going to impute my shoulder width divided by 2, and I'll add 1/2 of an inch or 0.5 to it, and I'll mark it like that. And then from this upper line, I'm going to come down by 2.5, and then I'm going to connect it from my neck tip, the tip of my neck, to the new marking for my shoulder slope. So guys, if you are liking my video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to measure the width of the shoulder slope, which is my shoulder width, and the value I will have there, I'm going to deduct 0.5 from it. So in this case it was 7 inches, so I deduct 0.5 from it and it gives me 6.5. So I mark it, and then I'll go down and mark it like that as well, you can see. Now from this new horizontal 1/2 inch mark we came down with, we are going to impute our shoulder slope. From that tip, we will come down by 2.5 as we did, and we are going to connect it to our 5 inch we came from the front we did, okay, which is going to be the second portion. So the measurements you have at the shoulder slope for the back, it should be equal with the shoulder slope at the front. So in my own case, I have the exact 7 inches. So this is how it's going to look like, okay? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fully finish the back side. Now, from that new curve line, not from the main back line, I'm going to impute my shoulder width without any 1/2 inch allowance, but the 1/2 inch allowance, I'm going to deduct it from it. And then I'll mark the 2, and then I'll connect the lines like this, and I'll come up by 1 inch to create a square mark like this, and then I'm going to use my French curve to curve for my back armhole. On our length part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to impute my shoulder width at exactly, and then I'm going to minus 1 inch away from it, and then I'll mark it as you can see me doing. Now I will come to the waistline, and then the waist I'm working with is 40 inches, so I'm going to divide it by 6. The value I will have there, I'm going to add 0.5 for my sewing allowance, and then I'm going to mark it like this as you can see. So guys, if you find this video interesting, why don't you click on the like button to help the algorithm running. So after that, I'm going to connect those lines together like this to my chest line, and then I'm going to connect the 1 inch deduction for the down part to my waistline. Okay. Now, from the armhole allowance like this, from that 1 inch mark, I will come in by 3 inches, and I'll go out by 0.5, and then I'll mark, and I'm going to do the same thing I did for my back armhole. Okay, now the 3 inches I have in between my back armhole and that new mark, I'm going to take the same measurement downwards, and then I'm going to mark it, and then I divided it into 2 as you can see, which is 1.5 inch on both sides. Now on my chest line for my front panel, I will go down by 2 inches, and then I'm going to create squares. So I'll mark 2 inches vertically and 2 inches horizontally, and then I'm going to create the square like this, and then I extended my line into the side, and then I'm going to use my French curve to create a curve like this. You see how beautiful it is? So guys, ignore this first line, it was a mistake. I will clean it up. All right, so after doing that, I will still use my French curve to connect a line from that point through this new chest line mark to the shoulder tip for the front. Okay, so this is how I'm going to place my French curve to connect my armhole. So do exactly for yours as well. So guys, if you find this video interesting, please hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified immediately and join the family. Now, on our center front line, which is the waistline, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to get my around stomach or our waistline, and the waistline I'm working with is 40 inches as I earlier stated. And you remember at the back mark we divided it into 6, so the value I have there, I'm going to put it on my 1 inch mark and extend my tape like this, and I'm going to impute my around waist divided by 2 and then add 2 inches to it. So after that, I'm going to connect my 3 inches mark I marked from the down part there, and I'm going to connect it to my new mark on the waistline and connect it up to the new chest line mark we did there like this. All right, so now we have the back, we have the side, and then we have the front panel. Okay, now I'm going to impute my vent for the side. Okay, so from that mark, from that full length mark, I'm going to impute my vent height, which is 8.5 is what I use. You can decide from your own. You can like shorter or longer vents. That should come from your own preference. So after that, the 1.5 inch, the 3 inches we divided by 2 is going to give us 1.5. So from the sides, you are going to mark 1.5 inches, and then you connect the lines like this. So the vents, one for the midpoint or midsection and one for the back section. So now that we are done, we'll come to our armhole. The armhole sets in. So from that line, we will come in by 1/2 inch, and then we'll come to the waistline and we'll come in by 1.5, and then we'll divide it into 2 and go to the last end. I'm going to mark 1.5 there as well. So I'm going to connect the 1/2 inch mark through to the 0.7 inch mark on the waistline to the 1.5 inch mark down there. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Afterwards, I'm going to use my French curve to connect from the 1/2 inch to the other 0.75 mark over there. And then I will use my straight edge ruler to connect it to my full length mark like this. All right, so now you can see that we have our back, the front, and the side on the same panel. Okay, now we'll come to the neck part, and then we are going to, from the center front starting point, we are going to come down by 2 inches, and then we'll go further and mark 2 inches, and then we'll connect that portion to the neck tip. So guys, this 2 inches mark I mark for the neck is not the right measurement, but it's just going to be our guide. Okay, now on that 5 inches mark we did for the front, we will come in by 0.5. okay, and then we'll go to the back as well and do the same by going in by 0.5, and then from that new 0.5 mark we are going to connect the 0.5 we already marked before on the neck part. I told you that I'm going to make use of it. You are going to use it to create a curve like this. Okay, now after you create a curve from that 0.5 mark, you are going to connect a new shoulder slope, and then you are going to come to the front part and do the same like this, and then you connect a new curve for your front neck circumference like this. So that old line is going to be cleaned out like this. Clean it out so that it will enable you to continue. So now we will come to the chest line on the armhole, and will come in by 1.5, and then from this part you are going to determine the width of your front pocket. So in my own case, I'm using 4.5. So after marking the 4.5 like this, I'm going to divide it into 2, and from that 5 inches mark, I'll measure and I'll go down, and then the value I have there, I'll mark and use my ruler to connect for my dart line for the front part. Okay, that line is going to be for my dart. From that chest line, I'll come down by 4.5 for the starting of my dart, and then I'll come to the waistline and I'll mark 0.25 on the both side of the line like this, and then I will go down at least 3 to 3.5 inches, and then I'll mark it like this, and then I'll connect my dart opening, or the width of my dart, to the 3.5 inches, and then I'll connect it to my 4.5 inch I marked over there. Now to get the pocket length, I'll start from the shoulder slope, and I'll go down at least from 19.5 inches to 21 inches. So in this case, I'm using 20 inches, and I'll mark, and the length of my pocket is going to be 7.5. okay, and then from that line, the midline, I'm going to mark 1 inch out like this, and then I'm going to measure the value I have in between the lines, and then I'm going to mark it downwards like this, and then connect my line like this. So the measurement I have from the waistline to the pocket length, I'll take it further into the middle of the side, and then I'll mark my pocket starting point like this, and then I'm going to mark at least 7.5 inches. This should come from your own preference, okay? And then I'm going to mark my own of 7.5 inches, and I'll come down and mark and connect the two markings with the dots and create my square for the down. You can see, so this is my front side pocket. So I'll come to the front upper pocket like this, and I'll come down by 4.5 as well, and then the width of it is going to be 4.5 as well, but that's not the final measurement. Okay, so after marking those lines, I'm going to connect these lines to create the front pocket like this. So from the chest line, we have at least 1 inches more to use, so I'm going to mark 0.75 on it like this, and then I'll mark. So this is going to be for my front pocket. Okay, this is going to be the full case for my front pocket. So that mark is going to consist the pocket and the pocket cover or the pocket shield. So afterwards, the down part, you can design and choose any design of yours, but mine, I'm going to create a round under pocket like this, and I will come down to the down or the side part of the front and create it like this. You can see our safari suit as shown for the pockets, and then for everything that you wish to know. So the two pockets, it can come from your own preference. Anyhow you want your pocket to be, it should come from your own preference. So I'm going to mark my pocket cover for the upper side, which is 1.75. I normally use 1.75. If there's going to be any design, it will come later. And then I'll come to the side front for the down part, and I'll mark 2 inches as well. Everything that I want to do on my pocket cover, the same design, I'm going to do it on my front pocket for the upper side, the same design. So after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it out. But before you cut it out, make sure you look through very well to know that you have not left anything out before you do the cutting. But before you cut, also make sure your fabric, you pin the portions together. Okay, and make sure that as you are cutting, you'll be careful of the lines. The lines are very tedious, and if you do not take care, you will cut through. I made a mistake on this part, but you will not notice. So now, before you cut the back side, what you are going to do is you extend your cutting, and then you will mark from the curve. You will mark with your own sewing allowance, anything from 1/2 inches to 1 inch. So that is it for the cutting. So you can see everything is now perfect and everything now is clean, and I have finished cutting it. Thank you so much for being with us throughout this particular tutorial. If you find this video interesting and you want more of it, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload an interesting videos like this, you'll be notified immediately. And also don't forget to share this channel and this video to your loved ones and your colleagues around you to learn about our channel and the things we do on this channel. Thank you so much. See you in our next video on the sleeve, how to draft the sleeve and cut. Bye.